Watch his hand.
So if you did not have to qualify that.
Wait.
You did not have to explain.
Look at that. He doesn't just tap his hand, he squeezes it. This is something I don't see often. Hey everybody, my name's Anthony Resinello. I've been a dating coach for the past almost 20 years, and today we're about to do a deep dive into the charm, the riz of Andrew Garfield himself. How did I come up with this Andrew Garfield riz review? Well, once again, it's from you guys, my community. Y'all all go into the Discord, y'all all click the video ideas channel, and y'all all type up something to me like, react to Andrew Garfield, blah, 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 react to Post Malone, blah, 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 make an analysis on blah, 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 whatever it is. And on my Discord video ideas channel, I look at every single thing you guys are posting. That is where I really consider video suggestions. In the comments, I don't really remember what you guys post. So like I said, the important place to do this is in my Discord. Click the link in the description. That said, let's get into this deep dive, y'all. Let's go down the rabbit hole just a little bit. I put these videos in chronological order so we could see them up until the most recent videos that I picked out. Here we go!
Like I try and make my hair like kind of in place and it doesn't work, but you like kind of look like you just woke up, but it's always like that. So there's like a science to it, I feel like.
You're right.
Can you break down the art of kind of just like, no, you're gonna keep the secret?
Absolutely not.
Man, I need some help, dude. Like she says it's like a flowing mane.
So what he's doing is really interesting right now. He's playing along, he's doing improv, he's doing yes and. So what is yes and? Yes and is when you play along with whatever the person is serving up to you. So right now he's saying, oh, you have the coolest hair, blah, 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 blah. And so Andrew is playing that character of a cool guy. So he's, yeah, absolutely not. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. What he's also doing is he's coming off as a bit confrontational. He's coming off a little bit upset, a little bit pissed off. So he's playing a little character. This could be a little bit challenging for some people because they feel like, oh wow, I don't want him to think that I'm not joking around. What if he thinks I'm coming off as a dick, blah, 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 blah. But somebody that is confident in just interacting with people, not scared of being judged, they know that as long as they have good intentions, the truth will come out. And so let's watch that.
She talked about it in the interview, but has it always been like this where it's just like always kind of like messy, but not really?
I can't help the way I was born.
Playing into it, and he's laughing because he's feeling that discomfort, but also knowing, Andrew's joking around, right?
You got really intense on me all of a sudden.
So that comment that he made right there is trying to say, come on, are we playing or are you joking around? What's going on? He's trying to break the tension right there, the interviewer.
Yeah, when you talk about the hair, the one sensitive subject of the interview is the hair. You got really...
So as we see, Andrew continued to try to play the character, but the second that he fell off that character, he broke character, right? And so now he shows that this was just a joke.
Come on. You had it until there.
I was kind of hoping that would happen.
But talk about the look of Peter Parker, because he's got this kind of disheveled look, obviously.
This is a wig, by the way.
See, so he's still joking around, he's still being playful. This is a great balance. This is the balance and charm that I call deviance versus sincerity. Charm is all about balance, and one thing that he was doing right here was, you could call it kind of misbehaving, but at the same time he was being playful, he was being himself. These are a lot of qualities of charm that I could get deeper into in a classic charm if you're interested. By the way, why don't you watch a classic charm right above right now, and let's put it about let's make it about Florence Pugh. Boom, Florence Pugh classic charm episode. You could watch it right there. Baby, yeah, you'll like it.
There's a bubble, there's a wig.
Do you go back and look at the comics and try and pick out certain images that kind of bring the look of Peter Parker together?
Yeah, and you want to make it your own, and also, like, you know, it's a teenager and he doesn't give a crap. You know, he's just like, he gets out of bed and he's like,
that's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. So, you know, he hasn't got a vanity to him, and like, with the mask, as soon as the mask comes off, it should just be like whatever. It should just be like wild. You know?
Do you see what Andrew's doing right now? He's not behaving, right? He's kind of messing his hair up, getting crazy, putting his hands all over his face. Not something that a normal celebrity would do on an interview. He's a little bit deviant, but he likes to balance it out with that British politeness, which is another trait of charm. Not British politeness, but just having some sort of politeness is part of being charming. Remember, it's always a balance.
You're pulling on it, and it's like
Oh,
perfectly
come
in
on.
place.
I can make it look
crazy.
terrible. You want me to make it look really bad?
See, I do it.
You want me
See?
to
Like, not as cool. I look like
No.
a dork, and yours
No,
is
that's
like,
great. What are you
oh,
talking
that's
about?
ridiculous.
See?
Yeah,
Look,
okay.
I can compete for bad hair.
This is deviance
tip
right
my
now.
hat to Peter Parker himself, Andrew Garfield,
Yes.
because
He's deviating from what's expected.
That was hard. That was 7.5 hours of an AIDS epidemic on stage, basically. So me and the cast had to figure out a way to keep things light. In between shows, we'd play a game that I made up called the Game of Giddiness and Freedom.
So a game you've made up? Because I haven't
Yeah.
heard of this game before.
No, it's
Game
my
of Giddiness
trademark.
and Freedom.
Game of Giddiness and Freedom.
What are the rules?
Look at how graceful this man is. He has such poise. He knows how to like hold himself. And another part of charm is having grace. And that's what I mean by having grace, is being able to control your body in a beautiful way. If you see how he holds himself right here, he has grace right here. And even the way, just this stuff. And again, it's a balance, because in a second you'll see him change and get all messy, just like in the last video. Again, charm is about balance, and that's what I'm seeing in Andrew. And now I'm starting to understand why people find him so attractive, so charismatic.
So this is like stream of consciousness almost?
Yeah, and just no thinking, just words.
And what, do you have to say sentences or just
You can
gobbledygook?
say, yeah, anything. Just you just don't think. Hey, John, your name's Jonathan. My name's John. What are you doing for the rest of the night?
But do you see what he just did right there? Once again, he's showing a little bit of deviance by playing this weird game right now. And he's taking that risk, which shows that he's really being authentic to himself, right? That was something really basic, actually, what he said. Hey, I'm John. What are you doing for the rest of the night? There was nothing interesting or funny. That shows that he wasn't trying. And the number one rule of improv, by the way, is to not try to be funny. The number one rule of improv is just to allow whatever comes out to come out. Like the godfather of improv, Keith Johnstone, says, the more you try to be funny, the more you try to even be yourself, the more you are watering yourself down. The more you just let out whatever comes out, the more you are being you. And the reason is because you've lived with yourself all your life. So you don't think you're interesting. You see it all the time. You are you. But for somebody who's never met you before, somebody that doesn't know you, you are a unique figure. You've never expressed yourself to this person before. So whatever comes out is going to be unique just because you are you. So the more you try, the more you're moving away from yourself. Andrew just showed that right here. He just trusts whatever is going to come out of his mouth is going to be okay. And that's why he came up with this game in the first place.
We can play this. Catherine, are you ready for this?
Yeah, because that's what I do all the time. I just talk.
Go, do it.
Okay, well.
This is something else that's really charming is she did a little bit, right? And Andrew wasn't satisfied, so he pushed her for more. So what he's doing is he's encouraging her weird side, her deviant side to come out a little bit more. Do it, right? He could have just been happy with what she did and that would have been fine. But he says, no, I want more from you.
I like horses. Not as much as you do, but I mean...
This is like a kind of cheap therapy that we're putting her through. Claire, are you ready to just, without thinking in advance, what's it called? The game of giddiness and
freedom.
And freedom. So giddily
Yeah.
and free now.
Hot air balloon floating high into the sky, and it's got pink and yellow and purple as the colours in it, and in it are 4 people. And they're flying over the earth, and down below, Tina Turner is singing.
See, what's beautiful about this is this teaches you to not think. This teaches you to be your realist self. And it's no wonder that this is a game that Andrew actually came up with, this improvisation game. And it's no wonder why he seems to just be so damn free and natural whenever he's talking to somebody, whenever he's interviewed, which tells me why that chicken chop date with Amelia just came off so real. It's because this is what he dedicates himself to.
That was wonderful.
No,
and
it
so lyrical and beautiful. It brings out the truth of the person.
So another thing that a charming person has, look at the way he's just looking right in this freeze frame right here. It's so authentic. And a part of being charming that I have found, one of the 9 marks of charm, is seeing the person for who they truly are. And when he goes, that was wonderful, that was this is this, and the way he's expressing himself, you could see that he sees that person and he appreciates that person for who they really are. And that is something that breaks somebody down. That's something that really makes somebody feel so good and makes them feel so comfortable around a charming person like Andrew.
John. I just keep going to John. I just keep saying John. I'm the worst at the game on the couch.
He's admitting that he's not even trying. He's admitting that bad is okay.
Everyone else is so good at the game that I
Are you
invented.
still playing the game or were you just talking?
How do you know when the game is over?
It was just a lot to hold. I struggled to hold it all. I kind of rejected it a lot.
What do you mean by that? You mean the pressures of being that well known, or just
Yeah.
carrying that franchise on your back?
The franchise, no, not about the work. The work was fine. It was the attention which I struggled.
Do you see how real he's being? He's not giving just the basic boilerplate answer. He's really showing us how vulnerable he can be here. He's really opening up about how he felt about this widespread attention onto who he was, his celebrity. And that's what makes us want to connect with him, because he's getting really vulnerable, which is such a big part of being charming, is that vulnerability. Now, something interesting that I want to just kind of make a difference between charm and charisma, because people tend to use those words interchangeably. And to me, those words are not interchangeable. Charisma is meant to garner admiration from groups of people, right? It's usually somebody like a politician or a performer where they are expressing themselves in a very performative way that gets people obsessed with you. So think about politicians, cult leaders, people like that. But how to be charismatic, really, it's just about being performative. But one thing that charisma doesn't need is vulnerability. A lot of people that are very charismatic, they don't need to be vulnerable in order to accomplish their goal. Having charm, it's more about connecting one-on-one with a person, building a strong chemistry between two people. Now, with charm, it's very important to be vulnerable, to open up, because it's a one-on-one thing. It's two people that are coming closer together. So I want you to think of, like I said, comedians, actors that are like performing on a stage, singers in a rock band. Think of people like that. Those are people that are really performative. That's charisma. Now, charisma is not a bad or a good thing. It is merely something that garners praise and admiration. Charm is something that builds connection between two people. I could say that Andrew is both charismatic and charming.
So it's a bad... Okay, I didn't realise it was a
I can
false
talk about it.
situation.
I'm just kidding. I didn't do another Spider-Man movie. You're right. Yeah. But in books. It's for English people to know. No, sorry. No. In all seriousness, I
Notice how he was able to just talk about so openly on a TV show next to women. This was something that he did really comfortably. This is what being deviant, being a rebel is about. You're not scared of talking about things that are a little more racy or edgy, but at the same time, notice that he doesn't do it in a way that's crude, offensive. He does it in a way that he knows is going to be accepted. And the reason why is because he's so tuned in to what's going on and who he's with. This is another huge part of charm, is to be able to really read the room and to see, who am I interacting with right now? What is their level of fun? What's their level of deviance? What's their level of authenticity? As he reads that room, he adjusts. But at the same time, it's not just about adjusting to what's going on. It's also about directing and allowing other people to come into your world. And so there's a balance in that too. There's so much to talk about. I could really get deeper on a classic charm if you want. Here's a classic charm of the current Spider-Man, actually.
I really am genuinely happy they chose another Brit. And I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter, guys. At all, all right? No, I really am though. It's like, it's been really good to let that go. It has been really. Why am I still talking about it?
I don't know, because I stopped talking about it 5 minutes ago. You just... Okay, we can move on now.
Well, I've just been overcompensating.
Yeah.
Because I'm fine with it. I really am.
Once again, the authentic realness of who he is, right? He's not hiding who he is. Like, he's calling out when he's feeling anxious. He's calling out when feels like he's, digging himself into a hole because he did that little digging motion. At the same time, he's always being playful. And charming people, they're always having a good mood because they really respect life. They have so much fun with whatever they're doing because they love life.
I like the suit, sort of a rust velvet.
That's exactly what it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, you
May
got
I?
it.
May I?
What do you... Yes.
That's lovely.
You're stroking your own finger.
Was I? This is a joke, man. We're doing comedy. It's a joke.
But you know what's really interesting right there? He calls people out. This is something that I notice a lot of charming people do, calling people out like this. He does it because he's bringing somebody closer, right? He's always wanting to tear down any type of fakeness in a person, and that actually encourages that person to tear down their walls. So he will be authentic at the expense of potentially making people feel uncomfortable. But charming people, they just don't care. They don't care because what they believe is real and authentic and true is more important, but only when you have good, loving intentions for the person you're interacting with. Now, if we go back to the foundations, right? A charming person just loves life. They love whatever person is in front of them because if that person is in their life, they love that person. And so if they call out somebody for doing something like a little bit fake or whatever he just did, it's okay because in Andrew's mind, he goes, I love him. He's like a brother to me. So I'm going to treat you like my best friend, like my brother. I'm going to say things to you like I would to my best friend, my brother, because ultimately, in the big picture, our connection will grow stronger because I called out this small thing. Do you guys like how the Riz reviews, I go a little bit deeper into all of the little things? I'm interested in the little things.
It's a fabric joke.
It's a really good fabric. Just in case the camera didn't get it, I wanted to make sure that people knew that you were
We'll
just
do a close-up
stroking your own
later.
skin.
Now, over the years...
See, and now he feels a little bit uncomfortable right here, but ultimately, Andrew knows this is making them closer. So what it tells me is what Andrew prefers is he would prefer to get rid of politeness for politeness sake if it doesn't bring two people together more. He cares more about saying, I'm going to throw out any awkward things. I'm going to throw out any type of uncomfortabilities. I'm going to throw it all out because I care about the ultimate connection between you and me and nothing else matters. And so you see he gets a little bit uncomfortable because he's calling him out in some weird fake lie that he just did, which is so small and nobody would ever point this out, and it seems so inconsequential. Colbert, I think, is just like, why would he even call that out? But ultimately, he's now going to feel a little bit closer to Andrew because Andrew now notices the real side of Colbert. And Colbert right now, I feel, is going, wow, he really saw something that I did that I didn't mean for others to see. He's noticing something about me, which is going to encourage me to be more real with Andrew. It's encouraging me to be less fake with Andrew because I know Andrew's gonna catch it. The same exact thing that happened with Amelia on the chicken shop date, which made her lose the character and be real and open up and be more vulnerable with Andrew. Again, ultimately, it's better for the connection between him and other people.
That's an uncle joke. That's an uncle joke.
I've never experienced fabric humor before. Sorry, it's my first time.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
Very grateful.
Okay.
Just grateful.
Again, he's just being himself. He does not care what people think of him, and he's actually being a little bit of a rebel by breaking the rules of what you would do on an interview. You know, I didn't realize how much charm Andrew had until really doing this deep dive on him.
You did not have to qualify that. Wait. You did not have to explain that part.
Something really interesting I just noticed here. This is something that Andrew did with Amelia. Really touchy-feely with her, right? Watch how he interacts with Colbert right here.
My brother got my father.
Watch his hand.
No, you did not have to qualify that. Wait. You did not have to explain.
Look at that. He doesn't just tap his hand. He squeezes it. This is something I don't see often. And it's something that I kind of want to implement into my own social skills. Now remember, the difference between social skills and authenticity is the soul, is the expression of who you are. Social skills is how you package the soul of who you are. Right? A long time ago, I was told by everybody, just be yourself, just be yourself, just be yourself. For me, I was like, oh, okay, I love being myself. I'll just be myself with reckless abandon. So in other words, no social skills. So I was just a wild man. I made everything very awkward. I didn't care if people were weirded out by me. I just didn't understand the advice. I was like, this isn't working. Why aren't people liking me? And then I realized, wait a second, you need to actually package yourself, package your authenticity in a way that brings better connection. So social skills, its ultimate goal is to bring better connections and to actually get into the relationships that you want to get into. And so that's why social skills is so important for somebody like me, because I have ADHD. I was always kind of like a crazy guy, always kind of like a mess, always just being very authentic, but not knowing how to present myself. That's what social skills is. Social skills is not manipulative. Social skills is the opposite of manipulative, because social skills is about connection and relationship. Manipulation is about control and getting things from people without care for the person itself. When I see something like this that Andrew Garfield does, where he often, doesn't matter who it is, just grabbing people's hands, arms, body parts and squeezing them for a long time, like a grandparent would, right? Like an old people when they hold your hand and they just talk to you. Tell me about yourself, young man. It's just like, why is he holding it? He doesn't let go of it. Look, he's doing it right there. I kind of want to implement this into my social skills. It's going to be a little scary to kind of just be like, I'm just going to hold this guy's hand a little bit more. But again, what he's doing is he's fostering stronger connection between him and Colbert, because why? He loves life, and whoever is in my life, I love and I want to be friends with. And I'm going to give a really good attempt at seeing if there's a connection here by just being very open and vulnerable and intimate with that person. This is not about saying, I am just not going to get consent for touching anybody. That's not what we're talking about here, okay? What I talked about in a prior video is he's keeping very, very attentive on the personalities and the vibes and the demeanors of each person. He's not just kind of coming in like a grizzly bear, just doing whatever the hell he wants. So he's making these skillful, attentive gestures with people. And that's a very big thing to differentiate. And I'm sure you've had moments where somebody's touched you on the hand or the arm and it felt immediately kind of weird and uncomfortable and creepy. And then you've had other people touch you on the hand or the arm and you just kind of felt safe, closer to that person somehow. Why is there a difference there? Like what makes those two different experiences different for you? The difference is the intention underneath. When you have good intention of love and care and no control over another person, you are going to just convey that in your body language and in your tone and in your gestures. And that person is just going to feel it. And that's why Andrew trusts that holding Colbert's hand right here is going to be a good thing, because he only has good intentions, and that's what he's putting out. Right? He doesn't want to take anything from Colbert by doing this. And in a way, I don't even think Andrew consciously knew that he was grabbing his hand, because kind of look at how he does it. It's not even conscious in a way. It looks conscious because we're focusing on it for 10 minutes, but watch how smooth and natural. It's almost like he didn't even know he did it.
I have my father's.
Oh, you did not have to qualify
Watch this.
Wait. You did not have to explain
See,
that part.
he doesn't even know what he's
thing.
doing.
My brother.
He's just so in the moment. He's just like, just listen to me, just listen to me. He doesn't even feel it. He just knows he's having fun. He's connecting, bringing up the energy in the room. He's wanting to get closer to Stephen. And because of that, he's just naturally reaching out and touching his hand. This is a highly charming individual. And I'm kind of like intimidated by how confidently he just authentically just moves through the world. I want to take some of these social skills, and hopefully, like I said, you could just come along for the ride and see how I learn, how I take things in, how I soak things in, how I've been doing this for the past 20 years and just love human behavior, love social skills, because I've always been an awkward guy. Like, not awkward in that I make people uncomfortable, awkward in that people are just like, Anthony's kind of weird, isn't he? And when I started making like cooler friends in like 8th grade, they would be like, you know, you were really weird in kindergarten. You were just strange. And my mom was like, how's Anthony? Is he okay now? You know, like I was just ADHD. I was just all over the place. And I had to learn social skills from those cooler friends. I just, you know, I'm so fortunate to have friends that were able to kind of teach me the ropes of how to interact with people. And then later on, really start studying people like this. And that's why I'm making these videos for you guys now. So you don't have to spend all those years just, what's the right way to interact? What's the right way to start a relationship? I want you to skip all that. I want you to take the fast track to making good relationships. That's why I actually created a new course called The 6 Rules of Detachment Dating. All of the things that Andrew is practicing right here are in the course. It's 6 days of emails that you're going to get that teach each rule of how to stay detached in a relationship with somebody, or if you want to start a relationship with somebody, how to make them more attracted to you and more connected to you by actually being detached, losing that neediness that you have when you're flirting with somebody. The great thing about this course is I'm actually going to be adding videos this month, November 2024, to the course. You can get it for $27. That's half off in the link in the description with a QR code right here. I promise you, you are going to love this course. I've been working on it for many, many years. Detachment dating is something that is really spreading through the internet right now, and you could be one of the first people to learn it and implement it in your dating practices. Let's continue.
There is a doctor, and I'm merely an actor. So there's a good reason for him to have lost all his hair. He's a pulmonary doctor. He's a lung doctor.
Okay.
So for the last 2 years, this Mother Hubbard has been saving people's lives.
So something also really important that charming people do is they bring themselves down to earth. We noticed that in the first video when he was acting really cool about his hair, and then he just said, oh no, this is a wig. And now what is he doing? Instead of putting the spotlight on him saying, oh, he's the most attractive one and the brother is the ugly one, or whatever Colbert was trying to say, Andrew said, you know what? I'm going to show you that I'm not all that everyone expects of me. I'm not anywhere near as good as somebody like my brother, who is a doctor that saves lives. And this is called being down to earth. He's always humbling himself. And I noticed that Andrew does that a lot. Very, very important. You are not a charming person unless you are humbling yourself. This makes you more relatable. This makes you more vulnerable. This shows that you are not just trying to show how tough and cool and strong and high value you are. That's why that phrase high value man or high value woman is so stupid and just basic and just like for the lowest common denominator type people. To be a truly charming, attractive person, you have to show your weaknesses.
Hi, welcome. How was the right side of the void over there?
Welcome, like this is your house.
Welcome to my void.
Right off the bat, what Andrew just did is he set the stage for how he wants this interaction to go. He could have been super down the center, super polite, super just, we're going to do everything the way that we're expected to do it. Say, hi, it's good to see you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Just say those things. But he said something really weird. He said, oh, it's nice to see you from the right side of the void over there. Welcome to the void, or whatever he's saying. So automatically, he's setting the stage with being playful with Dakota Johnson. He's saying, we're going to be playful right now. I'm talking about voids right now, okay? And so what this does is this is encouraging her once again, just like with Stephen Colbert and just like the past videos that we saw, he is encouraging that person to be their real, playful, weird, authentic self with him. If he came in and he was like, oh, it's really good to meet you. I've heard a lot of good things. The conversation would be nice, but it wouldn't breed the potential for a strong connection the way it probably will right here.
You're very poised. Almost awkwardly.
I'm ready.
Again, down to earth, deviance. He is saying she's very poised. It's really funny because I was just talking about how poised he is as a person. But at the same time, remember, charm is all about balance. So if he's just graceful all the time, this is my idea of grace. If he's just graceful all the time, it's not going to come off charming because it's going to come off too boring. So what Andrew is he's graceful sometimes, but at the same time, he's a little bit messy. He misbehaves a little bit. But again, this is another thing that he's calling out in her. He's saying, oh, you're very poised right now, which is a compliment. But at the same time, he's saying, I notice that you are working on being too presentable right now. And I want you to come down to my level. I want you to be a little more playful. I want you to let your hair down, get a little weirder with me right now. And again, this is because he's always looking for the connection. He's always treating that person like he's interacting with his best friend. Like, look at the face right now. Like, what is that face? That face is him. That's a face that you use when you're looking at your best friend. And he is trying to pull that out of her. He's trying to say, listen, I want to see if we could be best friends right now.
But then I remember seeing you at a party, I think it was at the Oscars or something. You were just so lovely and energetic and kind of excited to connect. I think that's the first time we...
Wow, I didn't remember that. I
Right.
can't believe you remember that.
Yeah. I was sober. There's no insinuation.
Feels like there was.
There's no implication that I'm making.
I think he fucked up right there. I think he took a risk and I think he regrets that. What he did is he made a joke at her expense, which is not what a charming person does. When they make a joke, when they tease somebody, they make a joke on somebody's strengths. Now, listen, this is like such a light mess up because he was saying I was sober. He wasn't saying you were wasted, but we understand the implication. And when it comes to making a connection with, especially with somebody that you don't know very well, like if he knew her really well, then he could say something like that. This is once again understanding that line where is the balance between deviance and normalcy? Where is that line? The way that I like to have that line is I never tease at somebody's expense. I always tease at somebody's strengths. Now, this being said, this is not at her expense in the way where it's like something that is inherent about her that is a weakness. Everybody was probably drinking. So that's why, listen, he didn't mean to make this social faux pas right here, but it is good to see that Andrew Garfield is imperfect in a little bit of ways.
Fascinated by
Yeah,
all
that's
actors'
so
processes.
normal and human.
And it was, thank you. Oh, I've gone on a roller coaster you just took me on. You shamed me and then you were excited for me and then you've accepted my humanity.
I'm a woman.
He's being playful, but at the same time, it's clear that he is keeping score here. He doesn't take it too seriously. You know, he's joking, but at the same time, you see that he remembers every step of the way in this interaction. He's so damn attentive. I feel like he's compensating in this moment because he does feel like he made that faux pas, and I think he feels uncomfortable very slightly. And when she kind of validated him in that story, he wanted to voice what he was feeling. Again, vulnerable, authentic, real. Nobody is perfect. Everybody is fallible, and it's how you convey that vulnerability, that fallibility. And Andrew does it so well. By the way, I just want to focus on...
I'm a woman.
Yeah, you are.
So right there was flirty. That was a very little, very light sexual compliment. And he could have said, and I love you for being a woman. Or, you know, like he could have said something really cheesy, but he had just the slightest air of attraction.
But then I read this script and I said, I'm feeling all of this anyway. Like, I'm processing all of the things that this script has in it. Maybe this could just be a part of my break. Like, this is like part of like, so there's a real I never approached work like that. Usually I approach it with a much more like, I don't know, trepidation, fear, intensity, like trying to get big preparation. This felt like, I've been in the preparation for years. This feels like I'm just going to flow into this, and it really was that. It's all the themes that I'm dealing with in my own life anyway.
Wow, he is incredible at expressing himself. And just look at how he committed so much to that answer. You could see it in his head. He really was exploring how he really felt about what he wanted to say. He didn't just give a boilerplate, oh yeah, I do, but, you know, he really said, I want to give her exactly what she wants from me. And the best way to do that is to be as true as possible to my feelings and not just hear the words, but really see my face and my body and how I interact and how I express it. It's incredible. It's the most beautiful thing to see somebody express themselves so authentically the way that he does, without any walls up, without any facade. He's one of the only celebrities that I see that is able to do it so well without any type of overcompensation or trying to just give lip service to the interviewer. He really says, listen, I'm here to answer your questions, and I'm going to do that as well as possible by being as authentic as possible. And you can see, again, time and time again, Andrew respects authenticity over anything else. And this is such a big part of being charming.
Get out, I'm sorry.
No, it's beautiful. Do you want to take a break?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What's hitting you so much in this section?
I don't know. It's mysterious. This is why art is so important. Because it can get us to places that we can't get to any other way. I think what's hitting me, I don't know. It's the preciousness. It's the preciousness, as we've been talking about.
I just went off on how he commits so much to authenticity because he believes that is the truest way to connect with somebody. And then, I mean, there is no more a celebrity or any person could be vulnerable than right here. This is a perfect example of somebody that has no facade, no walls, no overcompensation. You see that he's not like leaning into the crying. You see that he's not trying to add other ingredients into what's going on right now. He is expressing exactly what he feels, and he doesn't care if somebody thinks it's weird that he cries. He doesn't care if it's coming off wrong. I gotta say, in all of my analysis that I've done, he might be the most authentic celebrity I've ever seen.
And it's the longing for more. It's like we all pass with so much more to know, with so much more longing. I don't know why it's affecting me so deeply, but I feel this man's writing, and it feels like for all of us. It feels like he's tapping into something so universal.
Incredible. I would love to do a Classic Charm episode on him. The problem with Classic Charm episodes is that they take at least 2 weeks of full-time work to really make a good video, to make a good analysis, and to make a final product. And so if I make a Classic Charm episode now, I want to make sure that people are actually going to enjoy it. People are actually going to watch it. People are actually going to benefit from it, because my purpose in life is to get this stuff out to as many people as possible. You know, I want to enlighten relationships for the whole world. That's my life purpose. And I'm going to do whatever I can to reach the most people in doing so. And so, yes, some of my Classic Charm episodes have done a lot of views and a lot of people have really connected with it. And other episodes just don't get those views, despite how much work, how much effort, how much love I put into them. And so right now it's up to you guys. If you want me to make a Classic Charm episode on Andrew Garfield, you got to let me know. But you also have to send this video right here that you're watching to your friends. If there's an Andrew Garfield Reddit or something, or some Facebook group, share it there. Let me know that Andrew Garfield is a subject that demands more study and analysis into who he is as a person, into what makes him so lovable, what makes him so confident, what makes him so attractive and charming. Also, like I said, get into my Discord and suggest it to me. And then if you see somebody else posted that, upvote it. I look at the upvotes in my Discord. And lastly, if you want to take skills that you've learned today into your own life, I urge you to get my 6 rules of detachment dating. Link in the description with a QR code below. This will change your life, I promise. That's all I got for you today. It's $27, 50% discount off of $54. This discount is not going to last because this is just what I'm putting out right now because the course is new. Eventually, it's going to go up in price. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, that you made it this far. I'll see you in another video.